Let's get it.
Praise the Most High, family. I rode out to the park in hopes to do my recording there. Then we rode by another park and it looked like quarter meeting out there. I said, I'm gonna just turn back around and come back to what I know, and then head to my job from here, since my job is right out here where we're staying right now. 10 or 11 minutes away, so I'm happy about that. But yeah, our idea for today is watch your mouth and that stinking thinking. Watch your mouth and that stinking thinking. And our text, one of our texts is coming out of Proverbs 21 and 23, verse 23. Whosoever keepeth his mouth and his tongue, keep his soul from trouble. Praise the Most High. Whoever keeps his mouth and his tongue, keeps his soul from trouble. Praise the Most High. And the Most High just revealed something to me in that idea that I didn't see earlier. And basically it is, he who keeps his mouth eating and his tongue keeps his soul from trouble. And my mother was just telling me about one of our family members that had went to the hospital for not eating right. And I imagine it was more to the story than she was telling me. Because what got my attention was that he was dehydrated. And we all know what dehydrates you more than anything else. The alcohol. But we don't know the whole story, so we're going to leave it at that. But that was just a reminder that we got to watch what we and how we eat. How we eat it. As far as the amounts. And we was just speaking on this the other day as far as me losing weight and maintaining the weight I desire to have. And these are some of my notes we're going to read over. It is so important these days that when we're under pressure, we must watch our mouths. Just what that text was saying. When antagonized, resist the temptation to lash back out. Because that's where, most of the time, that's where other folks are coming from when they're antagonizing us in the first place. They're out of their emotions. So what they're trying to do is draw you into an emotional battle. So they can win the war of your tongue. Well, this is so Hasatan can win the war of your tongue. And here we go. Hasatan is solely after our tongue. He knows that he can't curse us just as King Balak wanted to curse our forefathers, Yasharel. Numbers 22 and 36 through Numbers 24 and 25 tells us that story. It goes on to say, well, the story is, after Balaam, which was one of the Most High seers, arrived in Moab, Balak, the king, asked him 3 times to curse Yasharel. Each time the Most High told Balaam to bless Yasharel, and Balaam obeyed. The enemy wants our words, so he needs our thoughts. Oh boy. If he can get into our minds, the next thing you know is that our conversation has changed and our actions will soon follow. James spoke on this subject in James 1 and 19. Understand this, my dear brothers and sisters. You must all be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to get angry. We just spoke about that as far as people antagonizing us into a battle of A battle of words. I was going to say a war of words, but the real war, well, it is the war of words. Because the battle is for our mind, our thoughts, then the war is for our tongue. Can I get you to say something contrary to what the Most High said about you? And see, that's what Balaam wasn't gonna do. See, he knew if he cursed Yasharel, that he would bring a curse upon himself. Because I'm sure he had heard about what the Most High told Moses in a prophecy to Yasharel and Abraham. He said, I'm going to bless those who bless you and I'm going to curse those who curse you. King David also chimed in on this idea for today in saying in Psalm 62, and I'm going to read all of this. This is good medicine for us all. I wait quietly before the Most High, for my victory comes from him. He alone is my rock and my salvation, my fortress where I will never be shaken. So many enemies against one man, all of them trying to kill me. To them, I'm just a broken down wall or a tottering fence. They plan to topple me from my high position. They delight in telling lies about me. And see, how many of us know that we all have a high position in the Most High? And that's not bragging or boasting, but the text says we're seated in heavenly places with the Most High. So we're sitting on thrones already. We're sitting beside him on his throne, ruling now. If we will pay attention to what the text is really saying. See, we're ambassadors sent out into this physical realm from the spiritual. See, in the spiritual realm, we're already sitting in heavenly places. We're already in heaven. If that's how you want to say it, heaven. We're already in heaven. We're already in glory. See, that's why the text says, in order to worship the Most High, we must worship him in spirit and in truth. Because he's a spirit, he's a Ruach. And we're to worship him in his realm. Because we are just like him, we're made from him, we have pieces of him, where he gave us all a piece of him, his Ruach. They delight in telling lies about me. They praise me to my face, but curse me in their hearts. Oh boy. That's one of them Salah moments. Let all that I am wait patiently before the Most High, for my hope is in him. See, that's what we was just speaking about just now a few minutes ago while we was riding. About letting our all wait on him for his all. Because our all is so much smaller than his all that he has for us. That he has in mind for us. Our ways are not his ways. His thoughts are not our thoughts. His thought and ways are so much higher than ours. Yeah. Let all that I am, once again, wait quietly before the Most High, for my hope is in him. See, that's what we have to realize and come to the understanding within ourselves. The finalization that I don't have no hope without the Most High. See, a lot of us put our hopes in other people and in ourselves. And I think more than not, we put our hope in ourselves until we have that rude awakening like I did. And you come to understand clearly how fragile we really are. Or should I say how fragile I am. See, when I stroked out, that was enough. That was enough to give me that reality check that I so much needed. Because I was on the way to hell. Burning hell. And see, hell don't really make a big deal anyway, as far as burning forever and having worms eat up on you It's all about being away from the Most High your entire existence, forever, ever. Let all that I am wait quietly before the Most High, for my hope is in him. Now, why would he say wait quietly? Because you can't do two things at one time. You can't talk and listen at the same time. And what I've come to understand, folks will listen to reply. They're not listening to comprehend. A lot of times, they're listening to reply to what you're saying or what you said. He alone is my rock and my salvation, my fortress, where I will not be shaken. See, he's the only place where we can go to, like this said, my rock and my salvation, where we won't be shooken or shook or tricked. And why is that, Robert? Because he hides us in his pavilion. He hides us in his secret place from the cares of the world. But see, we must listen to him to be hidden in him. Because if we're not in him, we're in and of the world, listening to them thoughts. My victory and honor come from him alone. Oh boy. He is my refuge, a rock where no enemy can reach me. What we just said. Oh, my people, trust in him at all times. Pour out your heart to him, for Yahuwah is our refuge. Common people are as worthless as a puff of wind, and the powerful are not what they appear to be. If you weigh them on the scales together, they are lighter than a breath of air. And we went over this text about a week or two ago. Don't make your living by extortion or put your hope in stealing. And if your wealth increases, don't make it the center of your life. The Most High has spoken plainly, and I have heard it many times. Power, O Yahuwah, belongs to you. Unfailing love, O Yahuwah, is yours. Surely you repay all people according to what they have done. This is back to my notes. So the simple pattern the Most High has laid out for us is to listen for his still small voice. He said he would never leave us or forsake us. He left us his Ruach HaKodesh to lead us into all truth daily. The sad truth is that sometimes we can't hear him because we are busy talking and thinking contrary thoughts than his. Just like I said, we're listening just to reply, or we're not listening at all. We're going off on what we think, what we know, what we want, what we plan for ourselves. It's so very important to win the battle of the mind. This truly is where the war for our tongue is won or lost. Oh boy, we better read that again. It's so very important to win the battle of the mind. This truly is where the war for our tongue is won or lost. Proverbs 23:7 says, pardon me, for as he thinks in his heart, so is he. Eat and drink, said he to thee, but his heart is not with you. It's vital that we take this idea serious today and ask ourselves, am I doing more talking than listening? And more important, who am I listening to? Do you have a King Balak on your team trying to get you to curse yourself? Oh boy. Well, that sounded more profound out loud than when I wrote it. That's how the Most High do. The text also says in 2 Timothy 2:15, study to show yourself approved unto the Most High, a workman that needed not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. When you already know what the Abba has said about a matter, there's no way someone or something else can tell you or show you different. Therefore, you will only say and do, just like Yahushua HaMashiach, what the Abba says, say, and do. And then you will win the war for your tongue and the battle for your mind. You will win the battle for your mind and therefore the war for your tongue, them words coming out your mouth. Hallelujah. Watch your mouth and that stinking thinking. And I don't think there's too much more we could even say on that after reading them scripts. Because they always have the right answer and lay it out for us plainly. So there's no mistakes about the Most High's heart towards us on this matter. And I have had myself to apply this in my life. And a lot of times it's because we're misunderstood, or even like the text says, we're lied on by Hasatan. I hear whisper in somebody's ear things about you now. You know that, don't you? But a lot of times it's solely out of misunderstandings. See, I heard a few teachers teaching, and it kind of disturbed my spirit, disturbed my ruach. But the Most High said, don't you say nothing. You leave that up to me. You just keep your mouth shut and keep concentrating on me. Do what I tell you to do. That's what you do. So that's what I'm doing. See, like the old saying goes, we'll understand it better by and by. We'll understand it better by and by. But today we're just going to keep our mouths shut. And we're going to think on them things. What the text say? Think on these things. If it's pure, if it's righteous. And basically in my own words, if the Most High said it, think on them things. But I pray today that we will find ourselves in the Most High today in His perfect will for our lives. And that comes simply by doing what He tells us to do. Praying and asking for His will, His desire to be revealed to us this day. And how do we find that will and desire, Robert? In that text, in prayer, in quiet time. Oh boy. Some of us don't know what quiet time really is. Oh boy. We talk so much, and then we let other people and things talk to us all the time. Well, how is that, Robert? Social media, the internet, TV, movies. See, these are conversations we're having without even opening our mouths. And a lot of times, if not most of the time, agreeing with. And it's played out in our actions. See, a lot of times that's where the tongue is bypassed. I don't need you to say nothing as long as I can get you to act this out. Because where you said it is in your mind. You spoke them things in your mind and your thoughts. And therefore you started acting them out. You watching a movie and you see somebody with a big house and a big car, you say, I want that now. And the Most High is telling you, be patient. Like David said, wait on me. I got your house, I got your car, I got everything you need. But first you're going to have to get over this test here that you keep failing. And it's that test where you want to go out and do your own things. You want to avoid instructions. Oh boy. You want to avoid righteousness, His way of doing things. You want your own self-righteousness.